It recognizes our belief in God, our country, not just individuals, our country, our founding fathers codified this in the documents that founded this country. Our reliance, our belief in God, and our reliance upon God. Of that, there's just no debate on that. You may like it, may not like it. Declaration of Independence, we find these truths to be self-evident, that we are endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, of which are life, liberty, and pursuit of happiness. It goes on in the Constitution to say we are putting together this Constitution in a preamble to secure the blessings, not only for ourselves, for posterity. And that Constitution followed with a Bill of Rights that enumerated those godly rights given to man, including the very first one, which was a right to believe in God and to express that belief anytime, anywhere, including the public square.
33 million. It's proven to the money investors that people want something to feed their souls, not just their worst desires.
Absolutely.
And
yes, indeed.
This kind of sums up my entire dialogue career on the heat of the night. You ready for this? Okay, this is it. My 7 years on the heat of the night. My dialogue all summarized in this. Get right on it, Chief.
Skinner, but Bubba's my name. I like my iced tea sweet and my women the same. I'm your brown-haired badge here in little old Sparta, but nobody's bigger or tougher or smarter. If you're looking to fight, best not be with me. Gonna be held tight, well now we'll just see. You never know in the heat of the night on TNT. Heat of the night on TNT. Now I don't put on any airs, but then I ain't no slob. Just a redneck boy with a blue-collar job. The ladies I date, they gonna have 'em some fun, 'cause I'm a big hunk of crime fighting son of a gun. So if you're looking to fight, come on up in the ring. You wanna be held tight, just about anything can happen in the heat of the night on TNT. Hubba, 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 heat of the night on TNT. Yeah.
Mike at KXCX. This is the Autry Show. No retreat.
And so, my fellow Americans, ask not what your country can do for you. Ask what you can do for your country.
Mr. Gorbachev, tear down this wall.
What the hell's going on out here? Everybody's grabbing out there. Nobody.
That the only thing we have to fear is fear itself.
Today, I consider myself the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
I'm not fearing any man. Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord.
So, 5 seconds left in the game. Do you believe in miracles? Yes! Unbelievable.
Free at last! Free at last! Thank God Almighty!
listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now, 559-899-1550.
Hey, y'all, welcome to Alan Autry No Retreat. This is Free for All Friday. Some have labeled it Freaky Friday, foolishly, Foolish Friday, depending on our subject. But I got Guillermo Moreno here on Friday. We're blessed to have him again, and Bullet Bob Lioni.
Hey.
Am I going to have to separate you two?
Hey, I just...
Please. Before the show,
Please do.
This is a serious class with serious subjects.
Please do.
And your minds are obviously not ready for a serious show. You're doing what we used to call, my coach called, grab ass over there with a series of serious subjects that people are waiting breathlessly to hear our opinions on. Now, am I going to have to separate? Are you guys going to,
I'm good. He's the one that started it.
You're going to change your behavior. Yeah. Guillermo.
I'll finish it.
Okay, that's enough. That's enough right now. Okay.
I just wanted to get San Francisco close to Bullet Bob.
Okay.
All right. We're going to start a very serious subject. And it is. There is no tongue in my cheek on this. This is, you know that I'm really not a fan politically of Nancy Pelosi. I don't know Paul Pelosi. You might know him, Guillermo.
Seems like a stand-up guy.
I wouldn't want to catch a ride home with him. He's not going to get a job at Uber. But he seems like a decent guy, Bob, right?
Well, seems to be that way.
You certainly, even though we disagree with policies, I'm just assuming that Mr. Pelosi shares much of Nancy Pelosi's views. So I can say here with that assumption, which I hate to do, that I probably don't agree with Paul Pelosi's positions on things political. But dadgummit, nothing deserves to be attacked with a hammer. Like he was just done. It's just breaking news. Someone apparently broke into their home, San Francisco, wielding a hammer.
Shocker.
Somehow got over the fence
Shocker.
In his underwear.
The hammer guy was in his underwear?
Now, these are first reports.
So they're very trustworthy.
Yeah.
Did the underwear have Ultra MAGA?
Well,
was he wearing a red hat?
Who knows?
He has a manifesto, they say.
He does have a manifesto.
Conspiracy theories, all kinds of stuff.
Hates liberals, and anyway, he may. Hey, listen, here's my take on this. I don't care if, and I hope, of course, it's already started. People are saying, well, this is an October surprise. This is manufactured and all this stuff. Look, I don't know enough about it to make that judgment. I will tell you this. When I hear things like this where people's lives are at stake, I initially believe them, okay? And maybe I want all the story, like Guillermo was saying, give me more of the details.
Sure.
But according to the police in San Francisco, at a press conference, this did happen. They went over there, and the guy actually attacked Paul Pelosi. We don't know how he defended himself at this point, but apparently not injured, thank God. And people are already politicizing this. And let me just tell you where I stand. Since it's my show, I get to do that.
Well, he was injured. They took him to the hospital.
He was hit with it.
Yeah,
with the hammer.
They said that he suffered injuries.
Okay. But they didn't say life-threatening.
They don't know the extent, or at least we haven't heard.
Any
pictures?
God willing, pictures released?
God willing, no pictures yet. God willing, he's not seriously injured. But here's what the point should be. If you want to make political points, this is don't do it on something like this. This is something that should bring us all together under one premise, and that is crime is out of freaking control. If you're in a mansion, okay, in San Francisco, or you're in a subway in Queens, you have a good chance of being assaulted by this crazy increase in crime. If this doesn't give validity, now, you know the left's going to spend this, crazy MAGA, this and that. Hey, I'm taking a different take, saying, now will you believe there's rising crime, Eric Adams? Now will you believe Mayor of San Francisco, the London bridges, that the bridges are falling down in your city in terms of crime? When a multi-millionaire with gates around him everywhere can still have a murderer go after him, and you in Pennsylvania, Fetterman, want to let a third of the criminals go? I mean, this should be, if the right, the Republicans and the conservatives are smart and their heart is pure, they'll say, okay, do what you want, this, MAGA that. This proves our point.
You're sitting there denying that there's a tremendous increase of crime all over the country. And you know what? The Pelosi's just got a taste of what happens every night in big cities in America, mostly to minority communities and people of color, when people invade their home indiscriminately for whatever reason and try to kill them. So now you got a little taste of it. So, Guillermo, go.
Well, first of all, I wish I was listening to what Caitlyn Jenner was saying about this, because she's the expert on Fox right now on this attack. So I think she actually looks. There's a lot of Botox on Caitlyn Jenner. Poor thing.
We don't need to go there.
So
you were on a serious subject, but somebody texted, you found a way to segue to Botox. Get back on the subject.
All right, here we go. Listen, what happened to Paul Pelosi? It's going to sound heartless, but I don't care, because if the speaker can't keep her own husband safe, what makes you think she can keep Americans safe?
God, you're heartless.
If the speaker,
I think that was his point.
I mean, that's number one. Number two,
yes,
you got to give it to the Pelosi's. They still believe that they can leave their back door slider unlocked and open. I mean,
I think I know where you're going with this. And what bothers me is you may turn out to be right. I don't know. I will tell you, I will confess, I'm thinking, how did this 42-year-old dude in his underwear, they also have armed security.
Did they?
They've got tons of cameras.
You would think.
No, come on.
They're looking at surveillance cameras right now.
After January 6th, if they are under attack like they say they were, and there was knuckleheads that did go in there yelling, "Where's Nancy? Where's whatever." Sure, and I'm not minimizing that, but come on, you feel you're a target. Well, you are, just like any high-profile office holder. You would have cameras everywhere. You would have fences. You would have armed guards. And I'm, again, making an assumption, I assume, and the old saying, "What assume makes an ass out of you and me." Spell it, and that's kind of cute. But many times it does. But it does make me think just what you said, Guillermo. I'm sorry, some things aren't adding up.
That's why I asked the pictures. Where are the pictures?
But the bottom line is he did get attacked by somebody with a hammer. He was hit, and that's unacceptable. Okay. I don't care whether I agree with you politically or not. That's the difference between, I think, true Americans, true conservatives, and wacko left wokesters. This is unacceptable. I don't care if what this guy's beliefs, or I don't care if he went in and attacked Louis Farrakhan. You know how I feel about Louis Farrakhan. I would be saying this is unacceptable. It's wrong to attack Louis Farrakhan like this.
I want to be fair, though. I want to make sure that that the bail is not unreasonably high for him, because he could come from a bad neighborhood. So I just want to make sure that he's able to make bail and he doesn't have all these things. And I hope the judge takes his characteristic into account, because he could be a stand-up guy that just grew up in the wrong zip code. So I want to make sure that's number one. Number two, he shouldn't be held in an unreasonable cell, because that's not what they deserve. And he's got rights. So I hope that if he's not feeling well, he gets to see a doctor. And hopefully he'll be able to come out within the next couple of days and be back on the street. So I just want to be fair, because that's what they do when this happens to
I get your
political
point,
figures.
And it's a very good point.
Let's be fair. They're going to throw the book at this guy.
Sure.
They need to throw the book at every criminal.
Yeah, absolutely. You to me, if you attack somebody with a deadly weapon, I've said this on the show before, I don't think there should be such thing as attempted murder and a reduced sentence. Well, you just didn't kill him. Well, he was shot in the head like Jim Brady, and he's a vegetable for the rest of his life. Yeah, we didn't kill him, so we could knock 25 years off his sentence. No, it just means you missed. You intended to kill the person.
But even then, Haas, I just read the two instances that have happened in Fresno. One back in July, where a young man, 18 years old, went down to the out by Fresno State, by the college here, folks. There's a big mall, beautiful place, restaurants, movie theaters, and what have you. And apparently this kid got in an argument with another kid, shot and killed him as he was driving away.
Yeah.
Shot this kid and killed him.
Unbelievable.
Verdict came down, he's getting 10 years. 10 years for murder.
And will probably be out in what, 4?
For good behavior. I don't know what.
Sure.
And then the second incident happened here. You talk about out of control crime. Let's drop it down to the street level, where just Wednesday, some homeless guy, the paper referred to him as unhoused, homeless guy wandered into a local Ford dealer here and stabbed repeatedly an employee of the Ford dealership. They have since apprehended this assailant, And come to find out, there's no relationship between him and the guy that was assaulted. Brings us back to our mental health issue and how that's being neglected, and how some of these.
Why are you pointing at me when you're talking about mental health? You just really got serious and leaned in with emphasis.
I did.
I looked right in my eyes like I need to go see Dr. Phil. Excuse me. No, go ahead. It's a very serious subject. I don't mean to make light of it.
The point being is that it can happen to Paul Pelosi. Yeah. It can happen to. Remember when the guy was outside of Brett Kavanaugh's house, armed like the militia, and finally came to his senses and what little he has left, I guess. And if, in fact, called it in, and they arrested him. He said, "I'm going to kill somebody if you guys don't get here quick."
Following Chuck Schumer's, the holy hell's going to be unleashed on you, Kavanaugh.
Yeah.
And Gorsuch.
Yeah.
That's not
so it's really it really hits all strata of society.
Let's establish something here right now, and then talk just a little bit more about this, because I think could be a huge issue for the betterment of this country. It's a pro strike. Let's get this out of the way right now, at least from my perspective. Paul Pelosi wouldn't wish this on you ever. You're a child of God, just like me. I don't know what your religious faith are. You may not be a brother and sister in Christ, Nancy and him, but we're all children of God, and I wish you a speedy recovery. This shouldn't happen to anybody. Okay? Established. Now, unfortunately, in this country, we've denigrated to the point where we have to talk about this. We have to. What, Guillermo? So, sarcastically yet very poignantly and accurately pointed out what happens to criminals who do this sort of thing, but the victim doesn't fit the political party or the narrative of the left. If it happens, this happens, no matter how egregious, to a Republican or somebody a conservative or a Christian. They don't even get, and I'm sorry, this shouldn't happen, none of the standard cliche, even fake sympathy out there at all. And you're absolutely right. What you just laid out, and again, it was very, and I got what you were doing, your first sentence. It's got to change. I mean, you can't throw the book at this guy. You can't speak out, the guy meaning the assailant, and call it what it is. Unacceptable. You're going to jail for a long, long time. There's no way we're going to slap you on the wrist. We're going to slap the jail door shut on you for probably the rest of your life. Going through that tempting to attack a guy with a hammer. But you can't downplay when somebody drives a car to a softball game, a congressional softball game, with a freaking list that he wrote out the night before of all the Republicans he's going to gun down and kill, proceeds to take his automatic rifle out of the trunk, march into the stadium where they play in the softball game, and proceeds to unload that gun on Republicans and shoot Steve Scalise almost dead. He will be scarred the rest of his life, will never be the same. And then you don't even talk about that. That's somehow not as egregious as what happened to Pelosi. Somehow a loaded assault rifle aimed at Republicans is not quite as bad as a hammer aimed at the head of a Democratic, the husband of a Democratic leader. And that's got to change.
Yeah. Well, a couple of things here. I think that the Republicans are, Fox News is on it, even CNN, everyone's talking about this today. And in reality, no one should be talking about this because this happens every single day in every single city across America. Maybe not a guy with a hammer going into some wealthy person's home, but crime happens, stuff murders happen. I mean, look at Chicago. So it really shouldn't be getting the news, but kudos to the Republicans who are using this as a talking point. The Democrats still can't figure their way out of this.
Sure, so you can't spin your way out of this.
You cannot spin your way out of this. Number two, where's Chesa Boudin? Isn't she lucky that Chesa Boudin
Yeah.
That's a very good point.
Well, he's gone.
But that's the point.
No.
If Chesapeake was still in
Yeah.
there,
Yeah. This guy walks tomorrow.
No, he doesn't. Well, he'd probably throw the book at him. And what you think? What would Chesa do?
I think he'd be in a difficult situation, and I think the entire
I would like to see him squirm.
Yeah, what are you
going to do, Chesa?
Put some bail on this guy, buddy.
Yeah. First offense. Probably doesn't have a rap sheet.
Yeah, probably doesn't.
He's got a manifesto. Now, if he had a rap sheet, that would already be out there. But he's got a manifesto of his political beliefs. He was obviously politically driven. No doubt he's a sick individual.
Yep.
Nobody's arguing that. But that's a very good point. Yeah. What are they going to do with this guy?
Oops.
If you throw the book at him like you should, boy, how hypocritical you're going to look.
Yeah.
And
we know the race.
And if you don't,
it matters.
But he doesn't get that chance.
Yeah.
He doesn't get that.
Hey,
opportunity.
before we go, let's go to Kyle up because I was going to go to the Oz and Fetterman debate and get some folks feedback on it. Kyle's calling from Hidden Valley Lake, and then you got Amanda from Las Vegas commenting on Guillermo's view of the attack. I want to hear what Amanda has to say. But Kyle, are you there, buddy?
I'm here. How you guys doing?
Hey,
Kyle.
Great.
Living the dream.
How about you? Out there in Hidden Valley?
Yeah, well, I can live the dream too.
All right. Yeah. Good. What's your take on your comment on the Oz and Fetterman debate?
Oh man, I don't want to make fun of him because of his stroke, but you shouldn't use that as an excuse to gain sympathy.
Yep.
However, hello, good night, everybody, describes the Democratic Party right now perfectly.
That's so true. That's good.
Maybe it wasn't a slip up. Yeah, maybe he was just uttering the slogan. I'm like, I'm with you, Kyle. I don't want to go there because we're one moment away from having a stroke ourselves. I mean, come on, it's big.
Yeah. Kyle hit it on the money. That is the Democrat slogan right there. That's money.
But you know what I subscribe to on this whole thing is I tend to take the politics out of things sometimes because we're all in this thing together. I look at where my thoughts go on this is his family and his people first that would let him go out there and risk another stroke, because when you have one stroke, you're really in a dangerous zone to have another one till you get further down the line and you have further therapy and your body gets stronger. He's not that far away from the stroke that he had, and you put him out in this really stressful environment because you hope that he can get some sympathy. He's not going to perform well, but you see Oz closing, and I don't put the onus and responsibility on the handlers, the Democratic Party, because they would kill anybody. They would literally kill anybody they thought, even one of their own. They've proven this to have power. That's how the woke left Marxist people operate. It's in their manifesto. You're willing to give your life, kill anybody, collateral damage as long as we get power. But it's his family, his wife. Why did you let your husband go out and do that? Yeah. Really. I mean, what's your thoughts on that, Kyle? I just think, I just shake my head going, man, I feel sorry for this. Now, he may win. I feel sorry for the country, but I do feel sorry for him being used like this. I mean, dadgum, I've had people have strokes in the family. I wouldn't put them up there like that and embarrass themselves. Anyway.
Sometimes you get handed greatness, and it's too much to handle. And you got to take a back seat and just say, no, it's not the time.
Yeah. Well, I wish he would have done that, but anyway, he didn't. Well, I appreciate you calling in, Kyle. You are the best, young brother. Appreciate you.
All right, thank you, guys.
Thank you. Buddy. Thank you. Let's go to Amanda in Las Vegas. Amanda. Are you there, Amanda?
Amanda.
I am here.
Amanda, welcome to the show, my dear, on Free For All Friday. You got a comment on Guillermo's view of the attack? Have at it.
Yes, I do. I agree with both of y'all. I agree that the attack is tragic no matter who it is. It's terrible that it happened. But I also agree with Guillermo and going, okay, so is he going to get a nice cell, and are we going to take his mental, his prior mental health into concern when we talk about what he's going to do? And no, they're not. I'm sorry. This is Nancy Pelosi. They're not going to do that. They're going to crucify this guy because of who he attacked.
Yep.
It's not
just like they're doing the January 6th people.
Well, and that's what irritates me and everybody else, is that because you're so high up on the totem pole and in the political realm, which I honestly don't care about, but it's you're held to a higher standard, or you get special treatment. It's like, why aren't the people that are paying your salary, taxpayers of America, treated with the same as all the politicals are? I can't afford to hire a personal security guard to go around with me, but the taxpayers pay for her.
Yeah.
And then also my question, why? To me, this would be another thing for gun control, is why don't people have guns in their homes? Because I know in my house, if a intruder comes into our home, it's you came into the wrong house.
Yeah. If this would have happened in Texas, too.
You know, and it's going to, we're going to empty the shotgun. And
Ted Cruz's wife would have taken matters probably.
Ted Cruz's daughters would have taken it.
Yeah, you bring up a very good point. I mean, there's this tragic, horrible incident really gives opportunity to truly discuss things in a real, honest, purity of motive way. If you care about the country and care about what crime is doing to this country, just traumatizing the entire country, and see all this cashless bail, people being let out early, murders left and right, and saying, look, we're trying to shake some sense into people that would subscribe to this social experiment. Okay, we've experimented. Don't punish crime. Let them out.
Yeah.
The ones that have committed the crime, let them out, and we see the results. The experiment has failed miserably.
Yeah.
It's blown.
Miserably.
Exactly. The mixture that you put in the laboratory has blown up in your face.
Yep.
Okay, so we have to go back and do what has been tried and true since man and woman walked this earth. You have to protect the law-abiding citizens, because there's going to be violent lawbreakers out there, and you take them off the streets. You put them away.
Yeah. This is also leading to they get all mad that people are taking matters into their own hands when it comes to their own protection. I mean, my husband's retired police, and which is wonderful. I'm happy about that. But because of that, before being with him, I would have never in my life considered getting a concealed carry permit. Well, now I have one.
Yeah.
And I carry.
Yeah.
Because when seconds count, the cops are minutes away.
Listen, exactly. This whole first responder thing is so phony. Well, the cops are the first responders. No, you, when you're attacked, are the first responder. The victim of the crime is the first responder that has the best chance of stopping this crime that is being perpetrated upon you, whether it's somebody breaking in your home to ransack and steal stuff or attack you bodily. And you make a decision. Hey, I'm going to assume if you're crazy enough to bust into my home with a deadly weapon, you are certainly crazy enough to use it, and I'm going to take you out. Because I'm sorry, I value your life, but I value mine more because God gave it to me. And you've chosen to put your life and my life in danger. And by the way, I got a couple of kids sleeping in the back room, and it'll be a cold day. And you know what? I'm going to let you get another step inside this house. And whether it's a gun or a hammer. And I think you brought up a good point. I think this is going to open up, and I think it's going to blow up in the woke left's face. They're going to try to paint it, as Guillermo said, this crazy MAGA mania dude going in there, instead of a classic, very clear, dramatic illustration of why every American should have the right to protect themselves under the Second Amendment. And by the way, should use that right like Amanda in Las Vegas. Arm yourself, because you know what? You guys have instituted law, cash bail, letting criminals out left and right. Our police, you don't back up our police anymore. I have to be the first responder, and I'm going to be the most well-armed, trained first responder that you've ever seen. That's where we're going.
Just out of curiosity, who did Paul Pelosi call?
I don't know. They were still getting stuff in.
911? They call the police?
I don't know that yet.
I'm sure he did. I'm sure someone called the police.
There was a 911 call.
Personal security security. Wouldn't they be there already?
Well, you
Or,
would
I guess,
think.
does the personal security not do their job very
You
well?
would think.
Well, it's
But
I
Amanda
think
brought up. Excuse me.
Yes,
Hoss.
yes.
Amanda
Go.
brought up another point, and I think it's even more pronounced when you have a situation of someone in political office with a lot of power and a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
There are two separate justice systems.
No doubt about it.
For that. And so if you have political pull and if you have the power and the money, you're going to get a different set of rules in your justice than you and I are going to get in our justice.
Mm-hmm.
And so I think that's a great point, and it's going to be interesting to see what happens.
You know what's sad? There's no saying the truth will set you free, but first it'll make you miserable. The miserable truth is that many, I'm not going to put a percentage on it, but it's very, very high. People who are able to attain power, whether they inherit that power or they work like a dog on their own to get that power, a great percentage of those folks let that power go to their head. They change dramatically. And one of those changes is this, and I will debate this with anybody, anytime, anywhere. It's sad, hang on to your seats, but I believe it as sure as I'm sitting in this seat at KXEX 1550 here right now. The most dangerous thing can happen when you attain that power, and happens so very, very often, is you feel your life and your existence is worth more than those that you're supposed to represent and serve. Yeah. Now, I know there's no, not me. Let me tell you, truth will set you free, but first it'll make you miserable. They feel that the mayor of Chicago and these Democrats, they feel their life, the Congress people on January 6th, you see this big, wrong thing to do what the folks did that went into the Capitol. Don't get me wrong. But the only reason they're reacting they're reacting the way they are, throwing the book at all of them, going crazy, going insane, is they feel their life was threatened. And their life is more important than the poor family that just lost their kid in South Chicago. They got murdered last night. More important than that kid's life. They just do, and they may not even know it. Subliminally, they may not even know they have that, but they do. Why do you know that, Alan? Because they'd do something about it. You can go into Chicago and end that crime tomorrow. You know what? They know who has the guns. Bad people have guns. Have no problem with taking those away. They did it in New York, called stop and frisk. You saw the most dangerous city in the world, New York City, and Rudy Giuliani came in, and you saw murders plummet till it became one of the safest cities. Why? Because he put the bad guys in jail. He didn't care what socioeconomic background you came from. They can do it,
well,
but their deaths in Chicago, yes, those deaths are acceptable.
And forgive me, but when you're a criminal, to me, you don't have any rights. I'm sorry.
You forfeited those rights. Absolutely.
So
you forfeited.
Your rights don't matter to me.
You're right. You forfeited those rights. I will attach that to violent behavior. I think people get desperate sometimes and, maybe steal something here and there. That should be dealt with strongly. But in terms of violent crime, I agree with you 100%. You have shown if you're a threat to innocent life, you need to be put away and never see freedom in society again. I know that may sound harsh, but you've proven to me that you can take a life or attempt to take a life. You haven't proven to me that you can live peacefully. And you're asking me to know what I know and have seen, and seen the body buried, heard about the kid being buried that you killed, and the family you traumatized. You're asking me to believe a parole board and the psychologist that you're cured and you won't do that again. I'm not willing to take that chance.
Shouldn't be.
Well,
I'm just not
for
parole.
those that are, God bless you, go let them live with you.
Yeah, bingo.
But
Amanda, bingo.
I don't want them around me. I don't want to live in an area where
Bingo.
if you think that, great. Let him stay
Exactly. Take this guy that broke into Pelosi's home, put him before and get him some therapy. Make sure you teach him that hitting people in the head with a hammer is not good, and redeem him. And by the way, show that you really inspire us all. You know that little guest house you have in the backyard? Let him stay there.
Yep.
And that further proved to me, and I'll go, wow, it does work. Easy tank. Would you do that for me, folks?
Rehabilitation is a wonderful thing.
There you go.
Yes, it always works.
Yeah, it always works.
It always works.
to
All
12-time
We're gonna,
offenders.
Amanda, you're great. Thanks for calling in.
Amen.
We're going to take a quick break and come back. But man, time flies. We just got about 13, I don't know, 20 minutes more left in this show, Amanda. Thank you so much. Yeah. This is Alan Autry, No Retreat. We will be right back, I promise. God, shiny little Luke. Take that behind the vine. That was
Guillermo's coming in hot.
really good. That was a really good
coming in hot.
What you laid out. And you need to put that on your show.
It will be.
Put in there.
Are you doing that? You're doing your show today, right?
No, we're doing my show today.
Oh, that's right. Yeah. I'm doing it now. The old rerun.
Oh. Well, you know all about that.
Yes. It's that old joke. You know what's great about getting old? There's no such thing as reruns.
You watch a lot of that stuff, especially Heathen Night, and look back and look at some of the scenes and say, man.
No, I don't.
If I knew now what I knew.
I don't look at them because I don't want to look at them and say, man, I wish. For that very reason. I got one.
I got one. Thank you.
Thank you, though, Guillermo. Yeah, that hinge is done. We got to fix that hinge. People
it's
like
unhinged. We're unhinged.
I just love the layout. I love this shot.
Well, you know what I was thinking about doing?
I love this shot.
Well, I hate to tell Guillermo this, but he's leaning over too far, and you're blocking me.
Is he touching?
Get away from me.
How about this? That little two-shot. Beauty and the Beast. Give you one guess who's the beauty.
I can't get comfortable in my daggum chair.
Sorry, Bob. We threw Bob off this.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, I'm better now.
Oh, man. You know, we had all this stuff to talk about. Is Kanye done?
Tom Brady and Giselle made it official.
When you become in, I saw that.
Yeah. Kanye, is he done? No.
Yeah. No. That's a tough one.
I got a different take on Kanye.
It's Ye, by the way.
Whoa.
He's
1 minute? Hello there, Boomer.
He's identifying as Ye.
He's a Yaster.
He's Yeastmeister.
Bob's a Yaster.
I totally forgot my
Hey, we got to see if
Boy, that train came off of that.
If Liz Biden's ready to go, we got those ready.
Who?
Okay, we got to make sure.
Liz Biden.
Oh, Jill Biden.
Liz Cheney.
Well, it's pretty much that. Maybe that's where my subconscious went. Carl Jung. Jung would say to me, "Yes, you have a perfect explanation for that.
Yeah.
Your subconscious."
30 seconds.
Okay.
Crossing wires over here.
I don't know what you're.
Class.
Wait a minute. We're all
class.
We're tangled up.
Class.
Tangled up in blues.
Shut up. You ever heard that comedy album? Who does that?
10 seconds.
All right.
Thank you.
It's free for all Friday.
I thought maybe we were going to call the technician to come in here and take care of this.
Oh.
You're listening to the Alan Autry Show on the best talk in town. Talk Radio 1550 KXEX. Call Alan now. 559-899-1550.
Well, I'm ready to go back, do this last segment of the show. Looking forward to it. But hey, is Jill Biden ready for the rest of the show? Oh, gosh, I gave him the heads up. You heard me give him the heads up. He goes, yeah, I got it.
Sí, say Broadway.
When he found her, that's even better timing. That's even better timing.
That Jill?
You got Chewy? Is Chewy ready? You got Chewy? Okay, ready? I'm ready now. If you weren't ready for this last segment, you are now.
You get that all out of your system?
Okay, enough about if I had a hammer. And what do you really think about the Drag Queen Story Hour?
Drag Queen Story Hour.
Yeah. What do you think about drag?
Terrible.
This is free for all Friday. I don't prepare you everything. People,
you got that out of nowhere.
Terrible.
I see that. You were prepared.
Well, he wrote it down.
Here it is.
Those are his extensive
No,
notes.
what do you think about drag queens reading stories to like 5 and 6 and 7-year-olds? Terrible.
You want to know my opinion?
Yes, that's why.
That's why you asked. I'm gonna give you the political.
That's the worst part I've ever been to. The beer's warm, the women are cold, and I'm getting hot under the collar.
You win $250. A nice potting gift.
Now, you believe in the drag queen story hour? Tell us.
So I was thinking about this the other day.
You were?
Yeah,
you actually
Just driving down the road.
You were out there thinking about the drag queen
I
story.
really was.
Okay.
I was thinking about the drag.
So this is no surprise to you. Why do you act like you're thrown?
Because
you were well prepared for this. Go on. Give us the speech that's going to end your career on radio right now.
Man.
The clip that did it all.
There's a
It's
lot,
gonna be
there's a lot of those clips.
We could say we were there.
You ever see those things on YouTube?
With Guillermo.
You won't believe what Guillermo said. The statement that ended the greatest career on radio.
Man. I'm not as bothered as much by drag queen story hour as I think most are, and that's because don't take your kid. If you don't want to go, if you don't like what they're doing at drag queen story hour, don't take your kid. If
they're doing it without consent.
Well,
some of these schools are doing. That's the deal. They're taking these kids without.
Okay, so if it's happening at a public school and a drag queen comes in and reads, yeah, that's blatantly wrong. And I've said, like, just keep it all out of schools. And I think I said this 2 days ago on my show. I don't care who you want to love. That's not my job. My job isn't to judge other people. You love whoever you want. As a Christian, I'll tell you, hey, I don't think that's right. But I'm not going to be down your throat saying, hey, you know what, you better split up. That's fine. In schools, we shouldn't teach homosexual couples. We shouldn't even teach about heterosexual couples.
Exactly. When you should be married or who you should marry. That's not your job.
Our kids can't even
Man,
read.
but it's not your job.
Yeah, right. Our kids can't even read.
Right.
They can't even do math.
Or write. You're right.
Or write. But
Well, but nobody does that. It's all typing now anyway.
Yeah, but
they can barely sign their signature. The millennials.
Yeah, but they know about gender. They know about sexes. They know about homo. You know, they know about
It's gender fluidity now.
It should.
Do you know
be,
that?
It
used to be. Yeah.
It's everything now. So
No, it's flat. How do you get gender fluidity? You just kind of go back and forth from one to the other.
You want to be T-Rex? You can be T-Rex. You want to be
Pearl? What's your drag queen? Sorry.
Well, my initial answer was it's terrible. Under the
dang, I got to cancel my next gig. I thought you'd back me up. Would I be an ugly looking woman? No, seriously. Take a look, folks. Look.
Caitlyn Jenner got nothing on you.
No, Caitlyn Jenner's got nothing on me, man. I put on a wig one time, just messing around one time. It was for a Halloween deal.
Sure.
Yeah. Hey, it just happened to be one, and more my wife was in bed. You know.
Halloween in August, but go ahead.
Anyway, I put it on, and I looked in the mirror. It was, oh, gosh, I put the UGG in ugly. I mean, uglier than a mud fence, man.
Ugly.
Oh, golly.
You know they have an app that will turn you into the other gender. Do you know that?
You got it?
No, no, I don't have. My wife took a she had it, and I looked exactly like my aunt.
Oh, really? Is your aunt good? She must be very good looking.
She's like me with long hair.
I still haven't talked about Caitlyn Jenner. She's just been called transgender. Seriously, you could make T-shirts and sell those. Transgender.
Yeah, you might sell 2 of those.
How about
Jenner goes together. So okay, well, I think we can safely say, well, you straddled the fence. You got calluses inside your legs from straddling that fence. So your career's safe. Bob,
no.
Do you have something you'd like to add to your statement?
I don't
before
know that it really makes any difference.
Yeah, probably doesn't. But anyway,
but no, I don't think it's a good idea anytime, any place, anywhere. And if it's in a public forum, don't take your kid if you know that. Yeah. But if it's in school,
that's wrong.
Totally. And you know why they don't make advance notice of that? Because there'd be too much of an uproar from the good parents that would say, no way, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
So they don't make it public.
Did you see where the 14-year-old girl got reprimanded and punished at school because she wouldn't? She complained about the male, the trans woman who's the male, in the bathroom, and she says this is not right, and they either expelled her or disciplined her, and the parents are suing.
Good.
Yeah, and I asked my opinion on that, and I said, look, the mind, there's the biological identity of an individual and their psychological identity. Okay, I'll buy that. Inside what happened to your head, you think you're a man when you have the biological anatomy of a woman, and vice versa. And but then it gets into going into the bathrooms and relieving yourself in there. You're exposing yourself, and And I would say this, you talk about being controversial. I would probably be more open to it if they went all the way. I'm more concerned about the males because we're seeing now in prisons, they say, I'm identifying a woman, you go in and rapes go up.
And pregnancies,
And pregnancies where they've let these men who say they're women. I mean, you're getting data that people just lying about it.
Yeah.
For whatever. Just like, people saying we're a gay couple just to get insurance, and they're straight as can be. They're straight as George Clooney. He is straight, isn't he? But a bad analogy. He's as straight as Gary Busey.
Straight as a question mark.
Straight as John Wayne used to be before when he was alive. Okay. But I would say, but let me finish because I want your response to this because I'm going to be in big trouble probably. But it makes sense to me what I'm about to say. If you go all the way, which I hope you wouldn't do, cut off the apparatus.
You don't need to expand, but
you truly become biologically woman. You get rid of your the appendages, and you go all the way. And you can't go in. It's physically impossible for you to molest someone. I mean, go in there as a woman, and then all of a sudden you have momentary insanity, and you're a man again for 5 minutes, and you're enjoying yourself, and you come back out and go, I lost my mind. I know I'm a woman, but that 5 minutes, the young girl looked good. Those kind of crazy things. If you want to go all the way, cut it off, then I might consider not being against it. But until then, I just can't trust that you're taking your apparatus in there as a grown man. You imagine they're going in there as an administration. Remember, 35-year-old individual who identifies as a woman but has the apparatus. It's the wrong word. And goes into the bathroom with 14-year-old girls. I can't trust that situation. Yes.
And why shouldn't that 14-year-old be aggrieved? And why shouldn't she be traumatized? Absolutely. And why is the school administration being such knotheads about this whole thing? This is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
That we're even having this conversation, although it's 2022.
You have to have the conversation because it's upon us, being forced upon us.
Yeah.
I'll solve this, Brett.
Solve it.
Number one,
Guillermo's coming in hot. I expect Amanda to call back and talk about what Guillermo's going to say now.
So listen, in schools, if you're a student, there should be student restrooms. If you're an adult, you should be using the adult administrative restrooms. I don't like adults going into the same restroom with kids, even if it's the same sex. Even if it's a man going in with...
That's a good point, too. I'm with you on that.
Kids go... There's student restrooms, unless there's a problem and there's a fight, administrators go in. But those should be reserved for students. If you're an administrator, I don't care if you're trans or whatever, you go use the adult restroom. Plain and simple.
Yeah.
And I also agree with you on your... If you got it, you
go.
On
canceling my gig?
No.
What?
Your drag queen?
You've been outed.
I didn't know I was in. What tune would I shake my booty to? Because they do that at Drag Queen Story Hour, They sing a song. It's time to get up and wave your hands. It's time to get up and wave your hands. Then they go, it's time to get up and shake your booty. And do the booty thing. It's time to get up and shake your booty. They do it. I saw the clip last night. Unless it's been altered. Go ahead.
Probably the wreck of the Edmund Fitzgerald would be with.
Yeah.
I agree with you. And I always use the Caitlyn Jenner example. I don't want to see Caitlyn Jenner in the male restroom the way she is now.
Right.
He is now.
Because he hasn't gone all the way.
He hasn't?
No, he hasn't had it.
Oh, I didn't know that. Oh.
No.
But I mean, how do you know? Do you want them to wear?
I think he said, huh?
But how will we know? Like, do you want them to wear something that says, "Hey, I'm all the way"?
I'd just go in there. Hey, drop the shorts. Do a little check.
I think
they do it in the doctor's office, man.
I think if he did we'd all know.
They got to find a better way to check for prostate cancer. I tell you, this is getting out of hand. You go in there as a male and come out violated. Never felt so violated coming out of these doctor's offices.
I got a story to tell you to make you cry.
But you bring up a good point, Bob. Is if they give in these school districts to a small minority who should not be abused at all, but let that small minority, maybe just one or two people, destroy the whole concept of common sense and destroy policies that are clearly right and fair and good. I mean, if you invite 20 people over, well, you're wrong, you're a vegan, but let's use this for example. Guillermo I invite 20 people over.
Okay.
And Guillermo's one over. And 19, and I lay out this beautiful steaks, pork chops, sushi, whatever, a lot of meat and this and that on there, grilled to perfection. And there's 19 people that like meat and are wanting to eat meat. And there's one who's either a vegetarian.
And who is that?
No, but what I'm pointing is, does the meat come off the table?
Yeah, they all need to change.
Yeah, that's the left.
Yeah,
that's the left.
That's the
But
theory.
you would say, no, you would pick what's there or go pass on it. You
Yeah,
wouldn't make
yeah.
a deal. But like I'm saying, you can have 100 people for food and one anorexics for starvation. The food ain't coming off the table. You shouldn't take the table off. Why? Because it's bad for everybody. People need to eat to stay alive. Well, you need a civil society with common sense to stay alive and be a civil society. Makes sense to me.
How about letting the trans person go use the administrative restrooms?
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Did you say that
But
already?
If they're an adult.
Because I wasn't listening, obviously.
But now I heard this, folks. Don't hate me. This is just what I heard. May or may not be true. May not be pervasive, but it might be true. I heard that in the one of the goals and one of the basic principles of the trans movement is to bridge the gulf between the trans individual and children. Because their premise is, we don't want you to be afraid of us. We're not chesters and molesters. We're not this, we're not that. And that's a very noble position to take. But you have to also respect people that say, you know what, we see more to it than that. There's more things that I don't want my children exposed to people dressing up differently than their gender. And by the way, could you just please show a little restraint and don't call me a hater because of that?
Yeah.
Can we sit down and discuss the appropriate place for this? Because if, as you said, if I choose to take my daughter, my child there, I happen to think that wouldn't be good for the child. But you don't, as an institution, behind parents' back, take kids and expose them to this, right?
Amen.
And Caitlyn Jenner be the first one to tell you. I've heard her speak on that. She's adamantly against that.
Yeah.
Doing this. She goes, it's parental rights all the way, and more power to her. Okay, we only got about 5 minutes. Sad news, and I mean this really. No setup as a joke. The Brady marriage is over.
Yep.
Official today.
Done.
We wish them well, and it's sad, but I think it's a lesson to a lot of us. I cannot tell you how many men and women I've heard over the years say, man, that's the perfect couple. Boy, I wish we were like them. Boy, Tom Brady's got me, just beautiful wife, 2 kids, great job. It's just the marriage, they're always together saying the right thing. What a team that works together. And you find out, Giselle said, all that time we thought it was perfect. They were growing apart. And I think the lesson is, folks, nobody's perfect. Nobody has the perfect marriage. Don't take yours and say, man, I wish it was better, because you may have the blessing of your life right before you with your wife and your kids and your situation. Maybe living in paradise and not even know it.
Mm-hmm.
And the grass is very seldom greener on the other side. You make the grass greener on your side by watering it and making sure you take care of that grass and grow your marriage. And that would be my message. What's yours? It's sad, because I've been through a divorce. It's horrible. I feel bad for both of them.
Yeah.
And those kids, 9 and 12, that's a bad age to get divorced for them, for the kids.
And money and fame isn't always what it's cracked up to be.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes I'm just curious with all these movie stars, what would life have been out if they were just normal people, married as normal people? Would they all divorce the same? I think money, fame, power goes to your head.
Back to that theme again.
Yeah.
Money, fame, power. And I think Brady really loved football.
Oh, gosh, he was addicted. I've talked about it in this show. It's obvious.
Yeah.
I was addicted, and I was horrible. Can you imagine you're successful at it?
Someday I'm going to have to tell the stories about some of your football exploits. You weren't horrible.
Well, I was.
You didn't.
I don't know what
you weren't. You weren't the best quarterback in the NFL. But prior to that, you had a decent career.
Yeah, I made it, but I look at all the people I played with that deserved the chance more than I did based on their talent that never got a shot.
Well, there's always
That's why when Gary Cooper says, Lou Gehrig, I feel like I'm the luckiest man on the face of the earth.
Yeah.
And but no, I feel for Brady and Giselle, and just wishing them well. And again, I think the big lesson is everybody's got their stuff. Work through your stuff. Do your best. Let God do the rest. And just those kids. That's what I think about, because it's easier if your kid's like 2, 3, 4. They don't know what's going on. The teen years are really bad. But you got one 9 and 12. But they seem to be really, they're going to work together. They said it's not going to be, Johnny Depp and stuff,
Gosh,
Johnny Depp.
It's not going to be that type of thing. So you can
give me
always thank goodness for that. Okay, real quick, we got 2 minutes, but I want to measure E, because we're going to spend more time on this on another show coming up here before the election. For it or against it?
E.
For it or against it?
If
Come on now.
All right, if the money actually just went for football, I'd be all for it. But then I'm dead serious. But then they throw in nursing and all these other stuff. I'm not.
Important stuff.
I support football and only football. Build back better, baby. Build back better. Tired of the nurses. Tired of you guys don't need money. Go get it from Gavin Newsom. We want football. We want a stadium. I'm tired of sitting in pink seats on the red wave. Get rid of those pink seats. Give me some
they were red. You want to measure D then for dogs?
Those were red at one time, but they've been there for 40 years.
Hey, when are you going to be on the show? When are you going to be on this show again? I want to talk about that
Wednesday.
in depth. Okay,
I'm
Wednesday.
heading to Amanda's land. I'm heading to Vegas.
Okay,
so,
well, when you get back, I want to talk more about this. Pearl, where are you measuring?
No, not going to do it. I've given enough money to that school over the years, and it's my feeling that they should try to get as much private funding as they can, and go that way.
Worst.
It's going to cost you. It adds 1 penny to every $5 that we spend countywide. So it's definitely going to generate some cash. But I'm tired of being taxed for everything that they can't pay.
And
for.
Worst ad I've ever heard. They come on there and say, people ask, why shouldn't you get it from the state? Because they're supposed to fund us. And the guy goes on and says, there's $75 billion in reserve, but none dedicated to higher education. Well, go get it.
Yeah.
Ask for it. You're telling me go get it. But instead, we're going to put our tail between our legs, come back and tax you some more.
Nope.
I had to go fight that battle with Measure A for the city. They kept taking from the cities. But I'm thinking, gosh, do you realize what you're saying? Your funding comes from the state. Go get it. Fight for it. All right, folks. Thank you for tuning in Free for All Friday. Love you so much. And Guillermo, Bullet Bob, Jeremy, appreciate you. Callers, appreciate you so much. These guys, I'm going to have to separate them. I really am. Just remember this weekend, do your best. Let God do the rest. And I promise you it's going to turn out the way it's supposed to. Oh, you guys are unbelievable. Bye-bye now.
He's right.